All right, so today we're going to be simplifying fractions, and when we simplify fractions, we are using the greatest common factor to figure out what I can divide both the numerator and the denominator by to make it in lowest terms. So when we talk about simplifying fractions, you're going to hear it a couple different ways. It could be reduced fractions or lowest terms. So sometimes when you're solving problems, a paper and the directions may say, write your answer in lowest terms. It means simplify your fraction. It may say reduce your fractions, which means simplify your fractions. All of those things mean the same thing. So what we're about to learn right now and practice right now is exactly that. It's reducing, it's lowest terms, it's simplifying. All of them may be used, so just make sure you know that all three of those mean the same thing. Okay. First thing that we're going to do, if I want to simplify 6/12, okay, I'm going to look for a greatest common factor that 6 and 12 both share. So I'm going to do a t-chart for both my numerator and denominator, and I'm going to list out my factor pairs. So remember, I always start with 1 and the product itself, which is 6. And then I also have 2 and 3. And then I come over here for 12, I have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Now, which factor is the greatest common factor? 6 is the largest that they both share. So now you can list them out. Sometimes I just do t-charts and I look in my t-chart, but sometimes it's not easy for us to see the greatest one. So it's sometimes a good idea to list out your factors like this. And then you can look here and see that 6 is the GCF. Okay, this is just one, listing it out right here is just one more extra step that you can do so that you don't make a mistake and you don't overlook the GCF. Okay. Once I identify my GCF, that's the number that I'm going to divide 6/12 by. So I have 6 divided by 6. It's 1. And then 12 divided by 6, which is 2. So my simplified fraction for 6/12 is 1/2.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
This is the answer that I will be expecting to see on any papers from this point forward if it's involving fractions. Whether it's a bell ringer, a homework, an independent practice page, a task card page, whatever it is, if it's a fraction, it needs to be simplified. Yes?
So whenever you get the GCF, whenever I get it like there, it's both the denominator and the...
That's what you reduce by. Okay, we're going to do practice again. This time we're going to reduce 9/12. So I'm going to start by writing my t-charts to find a GCF of 9 and 12. So my factor pairs for 9 are 1 and 9. And then 3 and 3. And that's where it repeats, so I can stop listing my factor pairs there. For 12, I have 1, 12. We just did this one. 2, 6, 3, and 4. Now again, sometimes it can be overwhelming to look at my t-chart, so it's a good idea to list them out. So I have 1, 3, and 9. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Then I can look through both. What is my GCF of 9 and 12? 3. So that's what I'm going to divide my numerator and denominator both by. I'm reducing by 3. So 9 divided by 3 gives me a new numerator of 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So my simplified fraction for 9/12 is 3/4. We're going to be talking about equivalent fractions next week. What we're creating right now is an equivalent fraction for my fraction that has higher numbers. I'm just simplifying it. It's still the same exact amount. If I were to have a pizza cut into 12 slices and I ate 9 of them because I'm super hungry, it'd be the same amount as if I were to take that same size pizza, cut it into fourths, and eat 3 of those pieces. Exactly. Your pieces are just smaller or bigger depending on how many pieces you cut it into. Okay, I want you and your table to try the next two, but we're gonna go one at a time. So everybody's gonna try this one with your group first. They're big numbers, that's a big fraction. And then we're gonna check it together. So save room in case you leave out a factor. Save some room, don't write super big. That way you can make any changes if you need to. So after you simplify using your GCF, you end up with 7/17 as your answer on this one. Okay, y'all go ahead and try the last one. It's 6/54. List out your factors for both, identify the GCF, and simplify. Answer. For 6, that one's easy. 1, 6, 2, and 3. But for 54, you should have 1 and 54, 2 and 27, 3 and 18, and then 6 and 9. 6 is my GCF. Sometimes, guys, here's a little tip. A tip for simplifying. Sometimes you can look and see, can I divide the denominator by the numerator? So you can, yes, you can. So you can ask yourself that, can I divide evenly the denominator by the numerator? If so, then that's your GCF right there. Okay, sometimes. I guess I shouldn't say all the time, but sometimes. You can for sure simplify. If your numerator can evenly divide into your denominator, you can for certain. I'm trying to say both at the same time, and it's coming out certain.
Numbers over 12.
Then you can do 54 divided by 6 to get your denominator, because 6 divided by 6 would be 1.
Do we have to do those though, like 2, 27, 3, 18?
I mean, it's a good idea to have them all listed, but I mean, 6 is the greatest factor that you have for 6. So that's all you kind of really need to know. Okay, any questions? Because we're about to practice.